Ladies and gentlemen, I am joined with probably the most interesting guests we've had on Thrashers Paradise yet today. We're joined with Toronto's Phantom High, and I say interesting because in an email I received from my PR guy, John Asher, about Phantom High, they were referred to as glamcore. So I have to ask, what exactly is glamcore?
Well, that's a good question. I think more like I think it's horror glamcore is kind of our catchphrase, but it's just a very vivid description. I mean, we obviously have an element of um, maybe a throwback to the '80s glam stuff. You know, we've got some androgyny, some non-binary stuff, some trans stuff happening. So it just seemed like a cool moniker to have, I guess. And everything is core now. This core, that core, whatever core. You know, Skype core. So it's like we just threw it on there. It's just anything that you need something to kind of define yourself. Otherwise, people just kind of flounder around wondering what you are. So we thought it was kind of funny, and it stuck. It seemed to take off, so we rolled with it.
Awesome. Now, how long has Phantom High, or at least this version of Phantom High, been together for?
So conception was probably 2016, and it was Seven and myself, and then early 2018, a mutual friend of ours introduced us to Joey, and our former bassist was a friend of his, and so it all came together really quickly. We did probably our first jam together summer of 2018.
Yeah.
And our first show November, and we did a lot of shows throughout 2019, and then bam,
COVID.
2020. Yeah. So yeah, about going on 3 years now.
Yeah.
Physically as a unit.
Yeah.
In the beginning, when the band first started performing live shows, did you find it hard to try and get booked onto certain shows, or did you find it more easy because your band was more out there and more a bit different than what is typical from the Toronto metal scene?
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah. So
a little bit of both.
yeah, probably a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Because it's weird. The mask thing is. Some people think it's passé. It's subjective, right? But it was really a part of our conception. It started out as me kind of standing in. I'm a guitar player, and I was the guitar player in the former incarnations of this project under different name, and we couldn't find a singer, so I decided to stand in as a muse for the band. And we were watching an anime called Knights of Sidonia, and the elites in the society always wore masks, and it had this kind of stoic thing that I thought, wow, that's really cool. Maybe we could do that, and there it is. But getting back to the question,
it's kind of tough because
yeah.
We found, some promoters didn't know what kind of shows to put us on because of the way that we look and our sound. Even our sound isn't traditional metal. At least, there's a lot of new metal elements, a lot of like throwbacks, and then we throw in some synths and stuff in there. And it's we played a couple shows where it was like, what the hell, like it was just a weird mix of bands.
Like a clown car just let out in the club. And it's just like, wow, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, and sometimes because Peril and the mask thing, they'll just throw in on shows, put us on bills with other bands that have costumes and stuff like that, even though the music can be completely different, like rockabilly bands, for example, or something like that. And we're like, it's a weird mix. But yeah, and then other times, it's I don't know. It's such a weird mix.
We've done pretty good because we're already relatively established as in the community as individual musicians. So the way that I network, it really hasn't been that much of a factor for us because I just, we came out and we lucked out, and a friend of ours in a band called A Primitive Evolution, they're good friends of ours, and they put us on a show in March of 2019, and it was really our first Toronto show. And we came out and just gave everything, and I think a lot of people were shocked, and because we got to shock a relatively large group of people, the word kind of spread quickly, and it's like, oh man, I want them on this, I want them on this, I want them on this. And so, yeah, we've had to turn down way more shows than we've played just to not, kind of
oversaturate.
Yeah, because also we like to do something different every single show. So,
yeah.
Up to date right now for you all personally, what do you find has been up to date the most confusing lineup Phantom Witch has ever been part of?
Oh wow,
that's easy. It would be Cherry Cola's Halloween of last year. It was like post-hardcore, and then there's like a doom, like a stoner metal, it was just, and then there was another, like they were like pop punk, like kind of like a Sum 41 thing happening. It was just like, and then we went on, and it was,
and then a rockabilly band that closed it, right? Or
that was
a different Cherry Cola.
Yeah,
show.
that was the stoner band, and just chaos, dude. It was weird, but
and this was the one during the Raptors, when the Raptors won, right?
No,
that was the other one.
That was the other one.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm getting my shows confused. Yeah.
Because that was a fun show too.
Yeah.
Nobody showed up to that one because the Raptors were playing. It was a championship
game.
There
was like 3 people in the club, and then but when we went on, like 20 people came out of. I don't even know where they were. I don't even know where they came from, and then they left as soon as we got off stage.
Yeah,
so
it was crazy.
We have like this flash mob thing that happens when we play, and it's pretty cool because I don't know a lot of the people, and I hear them coming in, and I might be standing right by the door, and they'll be like, has Phantom High gone on yet? And obviously they don't even know who we are because I'm standing right there, and so it's pretty cool.
And driving the gear in my little Kia through the crowds on Queen and Bathurst was quite the experience, So I'm honking my horn to get them to get out of the way so I don't run them over, Raptors. And they're cheering. They're like, yeah! And I'm like, okay. Funny.
Yeah, I can understand that pain and struggle.
Yeah.
Now, you recently did upload a YouTube video of a brand new music video. What was that like to record a music video during this very fun time here in Canada, you could say?
It was surprisingly easy. I mean, when we went in to do the video, they had the COVID tester at the door, and so
take our temperature as we walk in the studio.
Yeah, so everybody wore masks if they weren't on camera at that specific time. So it was very controlled.
It went really smoothly. Like it just it was a really cool experience. Like my first, well, I guess all of our first experiences doing a real video, like a real video like that.
In a studio.
It was really something else.
We did it at William F. White, which is where they do a lot of the movie shoots and stuff here in Toronto, as far as I understand.
Yeah, they do a lot.
And it's massive. It's like a massive complex, and you have to have a code to get in, and it's crazy. It was really cool though. I think it went pretty cool. That video was our van money. We were saving for a van to tour the U.S. and obviously when that got shut down, we were like, well, all of our social media content, everything we were generating from doing shows and from the photos that those shows generated and from the reach that we had at those shows, and we're like, holy shit, what are we going to do for this entire year now? That all of that, we've lost a potential European tour. We lost a big debut show here with the Birthday Massacre and Julian K. And we're like, what are we going to do? And it's like, well, we could take the band money and shoot a video. So that's what we did.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And it was definitely hard playing that song over and over and over and over again. And especially for a video, you got to really rock out and stuff. Oh, man, I was drenched in sweat, and I had this big mask on, and it was tough. Yeah. There's nothing like hitting yourself in the face when you got big horns on.
At least you had a mask on, though. It's like face protector.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I would have blinded myself for sure. Yeah.
Now, when it came to the song that the music video is about, was it an easy decision to choose that song to base the music video off? Or were there a couple of songs where it was like, well, I really think this one, but no, this one?
There's a bunch of those because we have 60 or 70 tracks that we haven't even released yet. We're still doing stuff from 4 or 5 years ago, and like the current version of Phantom High isn't even really, nobody's heard it yet because we progressed with our sound and everything. But yeah, there's 2 or 3 different songs that we really considered. If I had to do it again, I might have chosen a different song. We had a specific vision for the video, and it just didn't turn out as that type of video. So I think there's a little more meaning in the song, and we had envisioned more of a story, but it kind of came out as just an eye candy, really cool shots and stuff, which you can't complain for your first video. No complaints at all. But had I have known the energy or the vibe of the video, I might have chosen something maybe a bit heavier, or maybe a bit stronger with a chorus or a hook, out of our stuff. But live and learn.
But that song was a good introduction to the band as well, right? Like the idea of Vine.
Yeah. I mean, I might have picked a different one as an introduction in that context, but all in all,
I think it's a good representation, though.
No regrets.
Yeah.
No regrets.
Yeah.
I'm picky. I'm very
Okay.
Yeah, perfection is the
And there's nothing wrong with that. Now, one of the main things that a lot of people can't take away from it are definitely the masks worn in the music video, and a lot of them are very different, represent different personalities, I would like to say, of each band member. Now, I just came up with this now. Now, like Slipknot, could we anticipate the masks to change over time and maybe evolve into more different evolutions of the characters you represent yourselves?
So we've been kind of thinking, and when we started the band, there was an idea of an aesthetic, but it wasn't nailed down, and we didn't really know what to do. And we've kind of, after really being able to step outside ourselves and look in this video, we've got lots of live stuff, but live stuff is, you tend to dwell in the moment that you're in when you see it, and you're not really stepping outside yourself. And really, after we watched the video, we were like, this isn't really what we want to do.
Yeah.
So I think moving forward, it's just going to be me with the mask, and everybody's going to fall into a more traditional role, and that's where everybody feels more comfortable. And that's the thing, is we constantly get compared to, obviously, to like Slipknot or Mushroom Head, and we don't really sound, that's not actually where the influence came from. It was kind of accidental, and we want to really kind of preserve our own thing. So as far as everybody else goes, no. But with me, it's always evolving. I'm actually looking at some next level stuff for all of this, to kind of build the dynamic as time goes. Definitely, I don't even wear the same mask
No, you got a whole series of masks.
for even 2 shows in a row. So yeah, definitely, there will be an evolution there, and who knows where it goes. It might.
Yeah. Like I did my official unmasking on a drummer special on Midnight Looms, and that was the first time I actually did anything without the mask, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, it's also like, again, playing with a mask, especially on the drums, it's hard. Like I got to give Jay Weinberg and Joey, I got to give them credit for being able to do that live, especially playing intense music like they play. But for me, I also found it was kind of taking out of the moment when I was on stage, because you're behind a mask and I've got headphones on so I could hear the tracks and stuff, and it was really difficult. And I kind of want to maintain that. I want to be more in the moment and stuff like that. And then when we look back at it, we're like, you know what, aesthetically it would look better, if Peril had the mask and we just have our regular stage makeup.
And I've never had one.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. He's never.
So,
Yeah.
So it's working in my favor.
But it was fun. Like I've got a nice little collection of masks I've got hanging up on my practice kit at home, and yeah, it looks cool. I like it, but definitely enjoy playing without it.
That's definitely it's something else too. There's a bunch of different things that you have to factor in, and there isn't the absence of facial expressions and things like that. You have to find other ways to kind of emote. Mm-hmm. So that's a challenge as a vocalist as well. But I kind of knew it was going to be that way when I took it on. So
yeah.
Okay. What can we anticipate next from Phantom High?
Well, I mean, we're kind of in a holding pattern as well, wondering where things are going to go in 2021 as far as shows. If shows don't open up this year, we're going to need to do more videos. We have plenty of material. Yeah. It's just, with the paradigm of the way music is released now it's still in a feeler stage. Do you do just singles? Do you do just an EP? We would love to do an album. We've got 4 or 5 albums already to go. It's just, is that going to be just throwing it out the window on the highway? Because people are focused on singles and people don't enjoy albums the way, unfortunately, the way that you used to listen to an album and get to know the band. That really doesn't happen that way anymore. So
it's rare that it does. So,
and if you release an album and you can pump the singles off of it, but at some point it becomes redundant with the constant need for new stuff in social media. So I think this year we're going to feel it out. It will likely be either a series of singles or maybe a few EPs. We're trying to figure out shows. We've done a few live streams. They went okay, but people still there's a connection missing from that, and unless you've got big budget money to really put on something that is interesting, you're just another band that's
playing in a room with cameras,
treading water. So we've got to figure that out. That's something that we're working on, different concepts and stuff to make that interesting, to make it something that people would want to see, to bring an experience to it, and hope that maybe by the end of the year some shows come back if there's anything.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things we all miss the most, is that being on stage, playing for the fans, and just putting out that kind of energy that we do on stage, right? Like that's such a missing element. And for the type of stuff that we do, it's really hard to convey that in like a live stream, right? Mm-hmm. One thing we're constantly told every time we play a show is like, holy crap, like where did that come from, right? Because we come out with such an explosive energy, and trying to replicate that in a rehearsal space, with some camera, it just loses it, right? Yeah. So I think we're all kind of missing that feeling of, watching the audience's reaction when we play and interacting with them while we play and that kind of thing. At least for me, like I
well,
miss
that's really, with the concept of the band. You either need to have a lot of art and something, because that's what we went into this for. We're like, there's lots of minimalist stuff going on aesthetically, and we just wanted to do something different, that people came out and saw a show and they were like, wow, I feel like I just experienced something. And so, that's probably been our strongest component.
Yeah.
And so now that's gone, we just have to kind of figure out another way to make that connection.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Now, one last question to ask you three. Now, this is a question we ask all of our first-time guests on Thrashers Paradise. We just ask it mainly for fun, just to see what the response is. We haven't had the same response in a while in back-to-back interviews, so it'll be interesting to see what you all have to say.
All right.
The question is simple. Who would win in a fight, Lemmy or God?
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Lemmy or God? I mean,
Lemmy.
oh man, probably Lemmy. But you know what? I'd want to say it's going to be one of those fights, like in most anime, like in Dragon Ball or Naruto, where it's like, that one fight between Lemmy and God goes through, 2 seasons where they explain each move that they've learned while they're beating the crap out of each other. And then Lemmy will just power up to some insane rock god status and then blow him away with some big special move.
has anybody ever
I watched
said this, that what if Lemmy is God?
That's the correct answer. I love the explanation though. I did like how in deep you went into your answer though.
You watch a lot of anime. I mean, I was watching anime before I even came for the interview.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we pretty much mainline
Yeah.
anime all
Yeah.
the time.
If I'm not playing drums, it's typically what I'm doing is watching anime. So.
We're pretty hardcore.
Yeah. That's where a lot of our influence comes from, is some of the darker anime stuff, right?
Yeah, well, Phantom High. I don't know if you're familiar with Black Butler. No, it's an anime series. It's a little creepy, but and if you ever watch it, you'll see why I say it's a little creepy. But the main character's name was Phantom Hive, as in like beehive, but Phantom Hive, and we were watching this series in 2016, and when the first episode came on and I heard it, and I thought, Phantom High? That's the coolest name I've ever, heard. Like, that's exactly like kind of what we were doing. We were doing kind of like a Warriors gang-themed type of Joker gang type of aesthetic is what we were thinking. And I thought Phantom High, like a creepy high school, like varsity, creeps type of vibe. And I was like, that's so cool. I'm so pissed that and then I found out that it was Phantom Hive. And I'm like, what? There's no Phantom Hive? Hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Register the domain right away.
Yeah.
Everything. Google everything. Phantom High is... I didn't know it's an actual term for like a high that creeps in on you that you weren't expecting. Yeah, like a phantom high. But that's just total coincidence. Yeah, I was thinking like creepy high school varsity vibe, Yeah,
I mean, when you first told me about the band name, like that's what I thought right away was the Phantom High School kind of thing. Also because I happened to be watching Danny Phantom at the time, so I was like, oh. But yeah,
and there's only one other Phantom High, as far as I can tell, and it's like a stoner doom band out of
the States,
out of the Minnesota or somewhere, and so we keep getting our iTunes and our mixed up, and it'll be like, what is this song?
Yeah,
what is this?
But we came out first. Yeah. We had
Yeah. We did it better.
Yeah,
Sort of rivalry.
yeah.
I actually messaged them and said, how messed up would it be if we scheduled a show, out in Minnesota, and there was both of us were two Phantom Highs played the same. I do it. I don't care. I think it's funny, but
Yeah.
there's not really that much of a rivalry. We're just joking, but
Yeah.
Awesome. Not gonna lie, I wasn't expecting to be given so much information.
we just had coffee too, so
Yeah. I'm coming off of a 2-day hangover from New Year's, so
yeah, we're just glad you're here, so alive.
yeah.
Yeah, we survived 2020
Survived
and New Year's
2020.
Eve, so we're doing good.
Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your extremely busy schedules to come here on to Thrashers Paradise to do this quick interview. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the people that are going to be watching this on YouTube?
Just thank you. Thank you for the support, and give us a like and a follow on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Yeah,
Our YouTube channel's brand new. We released it the day of the video, so just big thanks. Really.
yeah, thanks, and just
And stay tuned.
every like, every positive comment, every view is everything to us right now. I mean, to all bands, but that and don't hate me because of the mask. It's really just me, but I'm in here. Yeah. They do. I don't. Don't you, Pat?
Okay. And until next time, everyone, keep on thrashing.
Thanks so much,
Thanks.
Colin.
Thanks, man.
The stones they rise.